Obviously, I'd like us to beat India in the final. With India's talent, you can never write them off. It's a home World Cup. The Test side over the last year and a half has really been the beacon of light. From a national team perspective, it's been brilliant. Temba, Shukri, have done wonders. Gautam and senior players, and who's next and how that transition happened. It seems to be in an interesting place. Yeah, I think when you go into a World Cup, you always want to come off the back of playing, really competitive cricket. And I think we've seen, and speaking to players, even a lot of the international players and stuff, they say that the cricket here is highly competitive, and it's a great platform for our players to take that type of pressure, full houses, first class production, playing against the best players locally and internationally, and so that from a preparation perspective is key. The one thing that we will not know is the combinations. Shukri and Aiden, what are their combinations they want to take into India? How they're going to shape up, who's going to bat where, depending on where they play. So we can't predict that, but I think the platform for players to prepare here is brilliant. Yeah, look, I think having 6 IPL franchises for us has been amazing. I know not every other league has all IPL, but for us it's been amazing because they're equally competitive. They want to win. They invest in players. They're highly driven to be successful. And I think they've also had the patience to learn. So when they move into a new region, they've had to learn about South Africa, learn about ticketing, hospitality, the way fans operate, the culture as well. But they've brought excellence to South African cricket, and I think that has been a huge asset. So I'll always be grateful for that. They bring excellence to the table and they push you, and that helps everyone get better. I do. I really do. I think, I've said over the last few years that Cricket South Africa started a domestic women's program. I think it was 2 years ago. We've invested in the schools and, trying to grow the depth of the women's game here. I think how it starts, I'm not sure yet. I think that'll be the Cricket South Africa CEO has come out and said that it's time now. So I think post this tournament, we will all sit down and figure out what that step looks like. But absolutely, it'll be one of the major discussions. Obviously, I'd like us to beat India in the final. But yeah, no, that was brilliant. We know it's not a tough place to go and tour. I was really surprised that how dominant we were in the Test series. That really did surprise me. But it was brilliant. The Test side over the last year and a half has really been the beacon of light. From a national team perspective, it's been brilliant. Temba, Shukri, have done wonders. Hopefully it continues. And I think in the white ball format, there's so much talent now. I think if Shukri and the team can get their combinations right, I think there's real opportunity that the team can do very well, because there's power, there's good bowling skill, and I think there's enough quality of ability to play spin there as well in that middle order, in particular in India. So let's hope that there'll be a good World Cup around the corner. Listen, with India's talent, you can never write them off. It's a home World Cup. It does seem an interesting transition phase in Indian cricket, between Gautam and senior players, and who's next and how that transition happened. It seems to be in an interesting place. So it's gonna be good to watch how things go. But certainly from a talent perspective, India, if they're not in the last 4 at least, I'll be very surprised.